Are your feelings the key to your legacy, to living your legacy life? These feelings, these emotions that present themselves, how influential are feelings? And so what I did is I said, okay, if that's a question that I have for myself, it must be a question others might be asking. If not, I think it's an important questions that others can ask. And so I said, all right, of the different feelings that are available, and you can go and do lots of research around that, I chose three, and they are how do fear, desire, and curiosity spark the legacy path you walk. I thought, yeah, fear, desire, curiosity would be interesting ones to take a look at because emotions, and I'll put often in a sense, okay, air quotes, guide the legacy decisions that you make. And probably more so than that logical planning that we do, that step by step by step. And therefore, this whole idea about fear, desire, and curiosity, it sparked my interest when I chose those three because I was looking at fear as something that's sort of in the foreground. It's present. It's one of those terms of emotion or feelings that we use on a day to day basis. And so I said, well, what is it? How might it show itself up? And then I went, okay, I hear a lot about desire. And I sort of put that a little bit into the background. It's sort of something that's there in the background, comes to the foreground when it needs to, and then sort of slips back into the background a little bit, whereas fear tends to be there in the foreground for the most part whenever you're having conversations with yourself or with others. And then curiosity was one that always sparked my interest, just because it leads to something. And therefore, this feeling of being curious seemed to be something that, especially in my life, woohoo, it's certainly there. So I thought about how might I present it here in the video as a way in which to share with you some thoughts. So I dug into fear, desire, and curiosity and came up with some ideas I want to share with you just to do a little check and balance for yourself around what is the influence of feelings, in particular these three. But you could grab other ones and take them out for a walk and see how they influence your decisions, your living legacy life decisions. And so, if you haven't met me, I'm Stephen. I'm with Younger, Older, Elder. We look at this legacy story and contributions and projects and how we can get you on that path to get you involved in your contributions, stories, project. And therefore, I produce videos that sort of come at this living legacy story from different angles and share them with you, like this one today. So, if we look at fear as the first one to start with, I think of fear as the belief that something in the future is going to cause you more pain than pleasure. You think it through. It's sort of coming from your thinking and feeling component. And so you might think, well, someone's going to laugh at me because of my legacy project that I'm sharing with them or I'm involved with. And sometimes that creeps in, so you get a bit of a little tingle tangle around that one. Someone might say, well, like your legacy that you're doing is not enough. And why are you even getting involved with it? You're wasting your time. And you hear phrases like that, and people are, they think they might be being helpful, but in fact, they can actually hinder you a little if you don't understand the sense of this notion of fear. Now, we could do a much deeper dive into it and look at fear through, well, what are my personal shadows? What is my self talk? We can look at it through a lot of different ideas and interpretations. But I just wanted to bring it to the foreground because it is this belief that something in the future is going to cause you more pain than pleasure. And when I encountered that understanding of it, I went, you know what? Yeah, fear's there. Okay, I get it. How do I talk about it? I could do something about that. And therefore, I said, how can I overcome these imagined obstacles that I was putting in front of myself? And I said, well, I'm going to understand what it is that I am presenting. What is it that I'm discovering, shaping, and sharing as my legacy contribution stories and projects? What meaning do they have? Have conversations with others about it and just sort it out in my head, heart, and hands in such a way as that I could ground myself in what it is that I am planning to do or I am doing. I want to improve, focus, or strengthen. And don't let this fear of something in the future that I think might cause me more pain than pleasure, or letting someone get involved and put me down or anything like that. I just no, I'm just going to lean into what it is that I believe to be of truth and worth and usefulness for me, and I'm going to keep walking forward. So that was a story of fear. The next one that I wanted to take a look at was desire. Remember, fear tends to be a little bit more in the front, desire is a bit more in that background. And we hear about it in connection with what's your needs and wants and desires, that kind of idea. And so I picked up on that idea of desire and I said, isn't that something like the resonance of joy that comes forward because of the freedom that you take up and express in what I think? I went, okay, that's possible. And therefore, that links to the contributions that I'm making with others because of the gift that I'm sharing. Ah, oh, right, legacy. Legacy is about the useful what's you gift others so they can learn from your experience. And if I have a desire to share my experiences so that others can learn from them, and maybe I formalize that a bit more, and maybe I actually get into an educator role and bring what it is that I know to the foreground. It could be simply writing a book about something that's of interest to you. And you may not be thinking about, oh, I need to get this out and become a bestseller. It could just be for family and friends, a contribution so that they might, oh, remember you or learn from you. And so this whole notion of desire, it depended on how big it was in relationship to whatever it is that you're wanting to call your legacy. And I understand when I started digging into it just a little bit more, I said, legacy and desire, if I combine them, that's what makes a difference. That's the lasting impact, the meaningful impact storyline, the subtitle of living my legacy life, making a difference, a lasting, meaningful impact, whether it's small or big. It's up to me what I want to do with that. I don't have to go to turn to some book and go, check, check, that's it, okay. I've got my legacy all planned out for me. It's actually there in this sense of my desire, that feeling, all right, around that resonance of joy and that freedom that I want to have as I'm living my legacy life. Through this feelings of desire, I said, okay, for me, what I'm going to do is I am going to express what my legacy is, the life connections that go with that legacy, that living, the living process that I'm going to put into that legacy. I'm going to express it. I'm not going to hide it away. I'm going to express it so that I can connect with those that are around me, family, friends, colleagues, and out from there. Your project may get to a point where you've got recipients and supporters and contributors, sometimes called stakeholders. It just depends on what it is that you desire to contribute, the stories you want to share, the project you want to complete. That's where it unfolds for you. So when you think through that desire, wouldn't that counter some of the fear aspect that I just mentioned? Interesting, isn't it? This fear and desire and how they may play themselves off with each other and actually create something is I don't have to live with the fear, I can live with the desire, and therefore, how do they take care of themselves in living my legacy life? Which got me then to the third one. And that third one was my feelings around curiosity that stimulates that continuous learning, that continuous improvement. It um, encourages me to focus in, improve, strengthen that that legacy contribution that I want to make, those stories I want to share, those project that I want to complete, because of that search for the truth, the worth, and the usefulness, those values that are there. I'm curious about how I can materialize them in my life. And that might be something you're challenging yourself with because you may be here watching this video or you put into the search bar, how do I build a legacy? What is the importance of legacy? What is legacy? You may have been putting those search terms and found this video. And I'm going, that's great because that curiosity, that digging in there, finding that way in which to bring the evidence of your life to this sense of, I want to educate something about that. And how do I create experiences for myself and with others to be able to have that happen? That curiosity is what you want to tap into because when your feet hit the floor in the morning, I might say something like, may peace be with you. But I also then add to it, may peace be with you, and may the curiosity fill the day. That is something that I've come to say because of my digging into this sense of fear and desire and understanding the background, foreground kind of interaction they have, the curiosity to look at those two and to bring them forward in what it is that I'm doing. Then I came to understand at a very much deeper, richer level, the curiosity fuels my expansion and extension. And when I clicked into that, that really got me going around what is it of all of that I've got to offer I can bring forward. So I ask you at this point in time, does that make sense to you, this story of fear and desire and curiosity? Would you bring them together in some fashion for yourself? Let me know down in the comments section, or just comment on the fear component or the desire component or the curiosity component. Whatever way works for you, put some thoughts down there. I'd love to read them and see what's going on. So this is a summary piece that I would share with you, and I wrote it up and put it here so that we would have it is, with fear, desire, and curiosity, embrace them as partners and align them with who you wish to become. These feelings are present. Come to understand them and find out ways in which to let them be woven into your life as you walk forward so that they help you become who you are desiring to be, to overcome any of the fears you have, and to fulfill the curiosity of living this life and being for the world, with the planet, from the whole. And with that, take care. As a reminder, subscribe, comment, and the two videos that are here, I thought would help you out in moving forward in this whole story of living a legacy life. And in particular, grab a hold of, visit the prompts that I put up each day, each morning. There's a prompt. And if you pull out your legacy journal, you can take that prompt and write a note to yourself. And that might get you to think about, do I have any fear around this? Is there desire around this? Is there curiosity around what he just shared on that prompt? That is a great way to move into your day from a daily reflection and then creating an affirmation that goes with that. So they're here to help you out.